After a decade away, college football is back on our consoles, and with it comes a major update to the run and shoot. We've had pretty much the same playbook in Madden since Madden 15, and it is finally getting updated. Today we're going to be taking a look at the play I would use to install the run and shoot in real life. This would be my base play that everything else would kind of stem off of. This is run and shoot streak, or what we would call it in the run and shoot, 90 streak or 91 streak, depending on if you had it flipped. On the play side, you have Z on a fade and Y on a lock seam that will break out if he reads blitz. On the backside is where the fun happens. We have our inside streak read and our outside streak read. Now in Madden, they did simplify this down to just what I would call a seam read, where you run a seam or you run the post, similar to what you see in a lot of four verts plays. But you will see that the outside streak read is pretty much correct, where he will either go straight down like a fade, or he will break across like a deep dig, and there's even a few instances where he will curl up. So let's take a look at it. Our progression on this play is going to be super simple. You're going to start off looking on the play side, and you're really going to be looking at that slot. You're going to peek at the outside guy on the fade. If he's pressed and there's one high safety, then yeah, if he beats his press, he's one-on-one, launch it to him. But otherwise, you're really going to start off looking here at the slot, and you're going to see if he breaks out or if he wins immediately. If not, you're going to flip your hips and you're going to look backside, and you're going to get it to the first open guy on that switch. So let's look at it against cover one hole. So again, we're going to start off looking at A on your screen, because B is not really looking like he's probably going to be an option. And I see A is capped right now. That defender is on top of him and not going to let him win deep, and he's not breaking out, so I'm turning back to the left. I see Y has beat his man. I am lobbing it over the top and doing a catch and run. This is why it's important to have fast receivers, so that you can win those one-on-ones when you get them. Cover 3 match is going to play out largely the same versus this play, because it's essentially going to just convert into cover 1. Again, A is covered. He's kind of capped. He's starting to beat his guy, and the safety is cheating his way, which again is going to open up this shot here to this guy. Another big play touchdown. Cover 3 sky. Now here it gets a little tighter. Cover 3 sky plays this a lot better from a one high shell. You're going to see that they end up jamming and rerouting them a little bit. Y actually comes open first there, and that would have been probably the better read, but I saw A and my eyes were still on him. I saw him getting into that seam area. On this one, I am going to throw it to the other one, but neither one of them is really looking great. He just clears his guy. I then try and thread that needle. He gets hit immediately, so wear and tear can affect him. So this isn't the best play against cover 3 sky, but it's okay. Cover 2. Cover 2 is actually going to play this pretty well, despite the fact that it's only 2 deep against essentially 4 verticals. But they're going to stay on top of everything pretty well. But you do have this whole shot over here on the sideline. I didn't mention this earlier, but I pretty much only want to have that backside of the play where the streak reads are happening on the boundary side. And I want to have that blitz read to the field almost exclusively. Quarters. Now, it doesn't play out how I would imagine and how I'm used to seeing it play out versus quarters, but this is an interesting way that it does play out. So you'll see the outside streak read actually breaks across on the deep dig, while the inside streak read runs his fade, and he comes open right over the middle. Versus palms, it can play out that way, but typically the outside streak read will run a fade. In this rep, he does the same thing again, and he's open over the middle. When that happens, it is a very nice play. It's a pretty easy pitch and catch. But when he does run the vertical, you may feel like, I have nowhere to go with this. You can tuck and run, But I did find that if you just pass lead it back and throw it to X, now they may switch stick it and they may be able to break that up. So your mileage may vary. Cover 6 and cover 9, for some reason, gave this a lot of fits. So there's going to be other plays that are going to be better against this look. But you'll notice that the outside streak read over there on the left is going to actually just curl up. You can kind of squeeze it in there, but that flat defender can definitely disrupt it. There's really not anyone open except trying to pass lead that lock seam inside. And that's also going to be kind of a hit or miss play. 2 blitz, but this is a roll 2 blitz. Now, if you snap before the roll is complete, for some reason, this guy will run the seam, which is not what you want. So you want to let him completely roll down, come to a stop, and then run it. And then he will run his post. So again, we're going to look over at A. We're not going to read this before it happens. We're going to go through our progression. A is not immediately out. He is capped. We're down looking to the left. We see Y. We're going to make for him to make his decision, because if you throw it too early, it could do the wrong thing. Comes wide open over the middle. Now we have a 3 fire zone. And you're going to see A is going to break out. This is going to be the first time we're going to see that blitz break. Easy 5 yards, pitch and catch. Let's show it again. This is a different rep, but the same exact outcome. You're just going to immediately see him breaking out. That's why you read him first. He's your hot. You just get it out, dump it off. Now versus a cover 1 man blitz, this is going to play out pretty much like our cover 1 hold it earlier, except you're going to have a little bit more heat on you. Honestly, this is a better defense for them to use than 1 hole versus this, because that hole defender is not really going to be defending much. You're still going to end up with that hole guy there too, because the guy manned up on the running back is just going to be sitting there. And against cover 0, again, you have your blitz break, which is really what that's there for. Now, in the original play art, that inside streak read on the left should have a slant. So if you know it's 0, you can put him on a slant if you want. Or if you're really feeling gutsy and you know they're only bringing 6 and not 7, you can try and wait on this post. If they're bringing 7 with like a casino blitz or, you know, some sort of crazy blitz, then you're not gonna have time for that. Hey, so this is the Discord. I know I've talked about it before. I just want to make sure everyone is aware of it. We have all these conversations about the run and shoot, about all these other schemes. We have tons of coaches and just Madden gamers and everyone. They come together and we all talk about X's and O's and how we can apply real football strategy into these football video games. So if this sounds like stuff that you're interested, we have all sorts of other content creators that are all active on the server and chatting and helping. Join our community. And also, I have a Patreon, so if you like this content and like to see more of it, or if you just want to support all the other stuff and get all the cool ebooks and scheme guides that I put together that are often 40 plus pages and include scheme history and background, diagrams, play call sheets, all the resources you could possibly want to try and emulate real football in these football video games, then you're going to want to check out my Patreon. Link is in the description. Oh, who's that guy?